of you know someone who has special needs or are the parent or sibling of a special needs child? How many of you understand the struggle that these children deal with daily along with their families? Special needs is a sensitive topic, but one that does need to be discussed, and that is what I'll be discussing today. Today I will be informing you of the different types of special needs, their strengths, their struggles, and the struggles for their family. By the end of this, you will understand a little bit more about what it means to be special needs and the exact struggles they deal with daily. According to Education Week, 14.5% of all students in the U.S. were special needs students, which may not seem like much, but when you compare the statistics from a decade ago, it's increased from 13% or 6.4 million students to 14.5% or 7.2 million students. It's a big difference. Special needs is a broad term for different types of disorder or disabled. We'll now take a further dive as to what they are. The two main types of special needs that I'll be discussing today are the physical, or epilepsy, and developmental, or Down syndrome. Physical disability refers to any condition that hinders normal movement and control, whereas developmental disabilities refer to the brain and its ability to develop properly. Physical disabilities are typically diagnosed first prior to developmental because the physical abnormalities or impairments tend to be the cause of developmental delays. And many of these in children are caused by genetics, chromosomal mutations, or infections. Some of the symptoms of epilepsy are staring spells, still muscles, and uncontrollable jerking movements of the arms or legs. Some of the symptoms of Down syndrome are upward slanting of the eyelids, short head, and short height. My oldest sister has special needs. She was born with epilepsy and showed all the signs: staring spells, still muscles, and seizures. At 6 months old, while she was hospitalized, she was diagnosed with bacterial meningitis, which traveled to her brain and left her with developmental and physical disabilities. And she may not have any strengths with hers, but many children do. These children tend to excel at math. They are really good at focusing on detailed tasks, and they have an exceptional working memory. Now that we know about their strengths, let's dive into the struggles. It is no secret that special needs children are different. It is no secret that special needs children deal with mental health like the rest of us, but what's different for them is that it's harder for them to deal with it. They tend to deal with more stress and social challenges that make it harder for them to cope. And they also deal with nervous system symptoms that just make it hard for them to deal with mental health in general. And for most of these children, the hardest thing is that they are more prone to experiencing trauma, like abuse and bullying, according to Navigate Life Texas. Now that we know about their struggles, let's look at the struggles for the families as well. It is no secret for parents out there that it is stressful. It's also very stressful and tough to be the parent of a special needs child. Some parents have said that it is extremely challenging, yet totally worth it and rewarding, according to Virtual Lab School. Some parents have said that it is no different than taking care of a normal child. Regardless, these parents tend to deal with more stress. Now, one of the most stressful things for a parent of a special needs child is how they're going to adapt their lives to fit their child's needs. Do they put their child in special schooling? Do they keep their child out of school? Do they use ramps in their house for the child's wheelchair? For my family, we put my sister in special classes in school up to the age of 21, and they never really needed to use a ramp because they just used her wheelchair outside of the house. And another thing that these parents deal with is emotions. They deal with anger, guilt, and fear. They fear for their child's life that something might be wrong, that their child, might get hurt. Or if they put their child's lives in the hands of another caregiver, their child might get hurt as a result of that. They feel guilty that it is their fault that their child has been born with these developmental delays. Some of them feel angry that their child has been born with these disabilities. And some of them feel denial. They don't think that their child is disabled, but yet they are. And it's also hard for the siblings as well. Some of them feel angry. Some of them feel jealousy that they have to become a caregiver or that they have to revolve their lives around their siblings. Some of these siblings take on the role of caregiver and they feel proud, or sometimes they feel jealous. In my family, I took on the roles of the oldest sibling, but I never really felt angry or jealous or annoyed that I had to revolve some things around my sister and her needs. Now that we know about these struggles for the families, let's recap. To recap, there are different types of special needs. It's a broad spectrum, and we have covered developmental and physical. These are typically caused by mutations, infections, or genetics. It is hard for these children to deal with anything due to their nervous system symptoms or the social challenges that they deal with. For the families, they feel angry, they feel guilty, the parents do, as to how their child developed these disorders or why they developed the disorders. These siblings feel angry, they feel annoying, jealous that their siblings have these disabilities, that they have to be a caregiver, or that they have to revolve everything around their sibling. And next time you see someone who is special needs or a family with a special needs child, stop by and say hi. Ask them how they're doing. Tell them they're doing great. Ask them if they need any help. And if you're in school, be a peer helper and help out one of their classes. Thank you.